Hello, my name is Eden Candelas, and this presentation will be about how supermarkets and brands use psychological tricks in order to manipulate you into buying or spending more money in them. Well, this is the table of contents. Firstly, we will be talking about some experience that you might have had at a supermarket store, where at the end of the trip you buy some unplanned candy because it's looking at you. Then we will be explaining what is decision fatigue and why it's like the main reason why stores put this candy at the end. Nextly, we will see some other examples of psychological manipulation tricks that stores use that you might not be aware of that also get you to spend more money on it. Nextly, we will discuss if this is kind of wrong or if this is morally right, wrong, or neutral. And then finally, we will see if we actually know what we want or we are being manipulated into buying something. Next one, please. Well, let me start asking you, or trying to revisit one experience you've had at the supermarket where you do your grocery shopping and you have everything in your cart, and at the end you buy you're at the register and you see some kind of like this. Where the candy is looking at you with all of their private colors and their prices, maybe the smell as well. And although you were not planning to buy a candy at this place, well, you think that because you made the trip, well, why don't reward yourself with some candy? Has anyone had this experience of buying candy? Like at the end? Yes, I think everyone has. Yeah, so everyone has. And why do you think the candy is placed at the end and not at the beginning or in the middle or in an aisle of itself? Anyone has a suggestion as to why it's placed at the end?
Because you already bought the things you wanted to buy?
Yes, maybe.
Because it's the easiest and quickest thing to grab.
Yes, maybe it's because candy is small, it's individually packed, and it's easy to grab. Maybe if it were in an aisle of its own, it would get lost or too crowded, so it's at the end. But that is not exactly the reason. That might sound like the logical reason, but there's actually a reason much deeper and based in psychology that supermarkets use. By this point at the grocery shopping trip, you've made hundreds of tiny decisions about choosing products and buying them. For example, when you go to see your vegetables or fruits, you have to decide is it ripe? Is it beaten up? Is it does it look tasty? And to actually put it in your cart. So it's many decisions you have to make. Maybe you don't consciously do them, but you subconsciously are thinking about it. And then you go to other sections and are aggravated by the immense amount of products and brands, so you don't know which one to buy, and you have to make a decision as well about which one to buy. And so by this point you make hundreds of decisions, and you're tired about making decisions, so you get decision fatigue. Next one, please. So what is decision fatigue? It kind of resembles when you get hungry. So when you get hungry, I want to ask you, when you get hungry, how do you feel? How do you react to things that you wouldn't normally react like? Do you get angry, emotional? Do you start thinking not logically? How are you when you get angry? Someone else.
Angry or I'm hungry?
Yeah, when you get hungry.
I'm in the middle of I need something to eat.
Yes, right. You don't care what is there to eat. You just want something that.
Yes, I just want something in my mouth because I have that necessity.
Yes, to satisfy that craving. Well, this is what decision fatigue is. You start thinking more emotionally, more than logically, and you just want to satisfy that need, no matter what consequences the thing that satisfies it makes. So to understand this a little bit better, we have to go deeper into human psychology and into the left and right hemispheres. So the left hemisphere is in charge of thinking rationally, it's in charge of numbers, symbols, and giving meaning to things, while the right brain is more of emotional, intuitive, it works with associations. So when you're deciding to buy something, you might use your logic brain, But at the end, when you are tired of making all the decisions, the emotional brain comes in and it like makes you satisfy that craving with whatever you have. For example, buy before thinking. At this point, the logical brain takes like time to process all the things, so you might buy products even before you realize it. So if you see the candy, the emotional side of you grabs it before even your mind realizes that you logically bought it. So it's not you who buys the product, it's your emotion basically. And so this is why the candy is placed at the end of the store, because by this point it's your emotions that roll in and you're much more likely to buy it than if compared to before when you are more logical. So other examples of manipulations include the music that is played in the supermarket store, where you might not even realize there's music, but slow music relaxes you, and the more time you spend in a supermarket store, the more likely you are to buy or to spend more money. So relaxing music makes you spend up to 40% more than you were planning to spend. Also, cards. Shopping carts have tripled in size since 1927, and well, while families have not gotten like significantly bigger, carts have. So companies want you to put more products on your cart so you buy more. Also, produce. This is a very interesting one because like this refers to vegetables and fruits. Vegetables and fruits are placed at the beginning, like at the entrance of grocery shops, so that when you buy them, you feel good about yourself, about buying healthy stuff, and you then like give yourself the luxury to grab something that is not that healthy, like a candy bar. This is why products is placed at the beginning of the store. And also positioning. The products that the stores want you to buy are at eye level. So other products are placed like down below or above, so that you don't buy them even though they might be cheaper, and they might be the same product because manufacturers use the same kind of factory and they're just labeled their products. Next one, please. Then I want to ask you, now that you know these manipulation tricks, do you think it is wrong to have consumers like using all these tricks to have consumers buy you more? Do you think it's morally wrong or neutral or right?
I think it will be neutral.
Neutral. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
Well, yes, at the end, I also believe it's not wrong nor right. At the end, stores are made to sell, and while they market like the right product, and you're buying like a quality product, it's not wrong or right to use tricks to get you into buying more. What would not be right would be to market a different product that you're buying, and this should be completely legal. But what I think is important is to raise awareness of these tricks that supermarket stores use to be aware and conscious that maybe you are not the one controlling your decisions at all. Maybe it's like some marketing. And well, now that you know them, I want you to like have them in mind. So if you have like goals like getting healthier or not buying these unhealthy meals, I want you to have them in mind so that you accomplish your goals and be prepared. Next one, please. Now, finally, I want to talk about what we really want. How do we know what we want? And if we do know what we want, is it us that decides what we want, or is it brands that trick us into believing we want what we want? This sounds very, very confusing. But it basically is. Do we decide what we want, or do brands decide what we want for us? And well, to actually get to know what we want and not be tricked into buying something we don't actually need, I want you to ask yourself 3 questions. The first one is why? Why do I want this thing that I'm being sold? this is one of the most powerful questions, and it will make you like go deeper beyond just the cover of the product or the smell or the taste. Then what do I gain by getting it? When you buy some product, like you get some candy, it's delicious. You get some dopamine, some sugar rush at first, and well, that's what you get. And then what do I lose? If you are trying to get fit or healthy, you might be tricked into buying this candy, and you might lose like that motivation to be healthy. So I want you to ask this first before buying something that you're being tricked to buy. This will be it for the presentation. I hope you enjoyed it and that you're now aware of these tricks and try to spot these ones or new ones that are getting you to buy more in supermarkets. I want to ask you if you have any questions.
What's the most like memorable experience you had with this type of situation?
Well, maybe I think it's an experience that we all had that wasn't covered here. Like when I was little or when we were all little, the Kinder egg that maybe you thought it was delicious, but you weren't really buying it for the chocolate. You were buying it for the little toy inside. I think this is like a marketing trick, but it's like a really good one, and it gives like some positive memories. But yes, I think one of the most memorable ones that products have is like placing something else beyond just food or the product they want you to buy. There's like a motivation to do them, and maybe also like cereal brands. They use like collectionable stuff in their packaging so that you buy these products.
Do you think that we have the liberty to choose what we want, or we have the influence of the brands?
Well, in terms of having the liberty, you can decide for yourself because while brands are trying to market you and enter your brain, they're not really forcing you, like obligating you into buying their products. They're more like suggesting it and trying to persuade you because you're not like obligated. But I do think there are some other things or some other kind of marketing things that affect it. For example, social media and marketing on social media and people that we see like throwing parties or what they get, like the cell phone and that sort of things, that it affects what we want. Certainly, what we want is not entirely like delimited by us. We are influenced from outsiders to really choose what we want. Some other question?
Do you think that promotions and discounts have anything to do with the tricks?
Well, discounts and promotions, I think maybe they do have the impact, but not in the way. Well, maybe discounts in the sense that when they are not real. Like for example, we've all seen that in the Buen Fin or the Black Friday, that they have many discounts that might not exactly be real because we don't know the price before that. They just put like some number, they cross it out, and they put another number that seems lower. Maybe that's some kind of manipulation that I think it's not exactly right, but yes, discounts don't seem bad at all if they're true, but if they're like wrong, if they're fake to get people just to buy your product at the same price and exactly at a discounted price, I don't think it's the right thing to do. Well, and with that, we could